Hello? Is anyone out there? I'm so sorry. Technical difficulties is an understatement. We have had no issue all day long, and then suddenly the power just went completely down. Long enough that my computer system completely shut off. Everything went down, the whole house went black, and then it came immediately back up again. There's not even bad weather. I don't know what happened. Technical difficulties. That's what happened. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yes. So we were supposed to start back with Fallout 76 today. Um yeah. We were supposed to start back with Fallout 76 today. Um but they're having technical difficulties over there, and they said their servers just came back up. Um but I'm not sure if they're okay, so I thought we'd play or try something else. Apparently, I'm not okay though, since my power company just decided to randomly just like, you know, zoop down and zoop back up long enough for my whole stream to crash. So, that being said, like I said, there's no bad weather here, so I'm hoping it was just a fluke. Um, uh, I've had a couple of people ask me though about um, my Planet Zoo. When am I going to show my Planet Zoo? When am I going to play the Planet Zoo? Here's the thing: Planet Zoo has a learning curve, and it is recommended not to even do like build your own zoo and stuff until you finish all the scenarios. And finishing a scenario, it's not just like, oh, a couple hours and you're done, because there's so many bits and bobs and pieces of the zoos, and because it takes time, because sometimes you're just sitting there for like a month doing nothing but watching your animals and watching your workers to make sure everything's being done, and waiting for the next couple of babies to be born, that it's one of those set back and takes a minute games, so it's not really conducive to a 2 hour stream. That being said, with Fallout having issues today, I thought that we would look at um, where I am in the Planet Zoo, like how far I've come, where I'm at. I'm on the last stage of a scenario. It is extremely fun and it's extremely addicted. Normally I've been like, if I'm not on Final Fantasy, um, I'll sit here and get on Planet Zoo either in the morning on Lefty's days off, or in the evening after I make dinner, and I will lose track of time. The other day, I told the story the other day. She went to bed at 10 o'clock. At 4 a.m., she came in. I had every intention of getting off at midnight and coming to bed. At 4 a.m., she walked in and said, "Are you still up?" And I was like, "What?" And I looked over. Yes, 4 a.m. on the dot. I had no clue where the hours had went. So therefore, for me, not conducive to streaming. And we are in ads. So, all right. Um, yeah. So I was like, she went to bed, back to bed, and I'm like, I'll be there in like 15 minutes. I just need to take care of this one animal. The next thing I know, the cat is hitting me, telling me to move. It was time for her nap time, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning. Um, So for anyone that hasn't seen it, this is your opening screen menu, whatever, for Planet Zoo. Um, I have not tried timed, challenged, franchise, sandbox. I haven't tried any of this stuff. I haven't touched any of this stuff. The only thing I've been doing is career mode. Um, and I am 29 of 69 through career mode. So, and it looks like they just added new with the last little update. Yay! More to have to get through. So yeah, 29 of 69 in career mode. I've gotten gold stars on all the ones that I have done. I am now at Nevada State Eco Zoo, and I'm trying to get the last star on it. I, however, also have all these others because I didn't just get Planet Zoo. I got the uh, season pass type kind of thing. So I have Planet Zoo, and I have all of the expansion packs. In This thing is worse than The Sims. If you get playing it for too long in one area, after several hours, you literally have to save and restart the whole dang game if there's too much going on, because it'll start playing the herky jerky everywhere. And my computer's not terrible. Like, it's not like the best streaming gaming system, but it's not the worst either. It shouldn't have any issues, especially since this is an older game. As you see here, this was the scenario, or the goal, the story for the scenario. Nestled within a rocky valley atop a small mesa, Emma Goodwin's first zoo is also intended to be a world's first. A zoo with as much diversity in its flora and its fauna, with the peerless environment credentials. Without a doubt, the Nevada State Eco Zoo is a big swing for the fences, and guess who's up to bat? So this zoo starts with nothing. Like, you start with just your entryway. And its big to do is the Timberwolves. Um, so round one for the Bronze Star was adopt and place 4 habitats, 2 Timberwolves, and do some plant diversity at 10%. Okay, in 3 habitats. So here's what I did. This was the first habitat we did. I wish it was brighter. I'm sorry. It's dark. It's nighttime. Um, everything's running smoothly at the moment. We can speed up through night. But this is the first one I did. It's been upgraded, habitat, shelter upgraded and such several times. But it is all the wolfies. The cool thing about this zoo game is that you can actually choose an animal and like go down into to actually see from the animal's point of view. And these animals are not like, look at the detail. Look at the hair. Like, absolutely cute as a button. So yeah, we've been working with these guys. Oh, there's the sun coming up. How it makes the red on the rocks. Absolutely gorgeous. Um, I tried because I've had complaints in the past with guests about not being able to see the animals. And since there was already these dips and divots everywhere, I just kind of put the fence up and smoothed over to the fence. So that way my my guests could have like an overlook down into. And so far they've been doing good. It was a rough start trying to get the enough money for the to basically to buy all these little enrichment items. That's what I was trying to think of. To buy these enrichment items as the vet would research the enrichment items, because it starts you with nothing. You know nothing about the animal when you first get it. And then you have to set your vet. See, there we go. Set your vet to research. And for every like 2 dinks of research, you get like new information about their enrichment, their habitat, so on and so forth, which opens up things for you to buy for that animal's habitat to make them happier. When the happier they are, the happier your guests are, the more guests you pull in. It also contributes to how much education is on your little boards and through your speaker systems that you have hidden around, which also make guests happy because they get pissy if they're not getting education because they don't come just to see the animals, apparently. I always ignore that when I go to the zoo. I don't even pay attention. I'm just walking around looking at, oh, cool, pretty. But apparently that's not the way people are supposed to do it. I also put in like 4 of these to draw in people, the most appealing. These are basically like your reptile um, reptile exhibits and stuff that happen in buildings. I just threw mine outside and said, "What the hey." Originally, it started with the straight line up, one over to the wolves. We had, because you're also in charge of vendors and stuff. We had a single drink, a single food, and a restroom. And then this whole side was lined with the little exhibits like snakes and such. And for our third entry, because easy entry, the challenge of this one is you're not allowed to put in water. You have to use the water that is here. So, like, if I used the terrain tool and come out here and, like, let's say this little divot here, I wanted to put water in it. The water tool is completely missing. Normally you click the water, you hover over to a line, and as long as there is a hole or a crater or a spot that's been like pushed down into, you can fill it with water. Not so right now. Not in this zoo. So we had to work with what we had. And you can only work with animals that come in the trading center, and which is not all the animals. It's a limited variety depending on the zoo that you're running. It's part of the challenge. I think in free mode it becomes a variety of what people are offering up to sell. This is just a variety of what the scenario is offering up for sale. So, oh, here we are. This was the second one I did. I figured easy enough. Saltwater crocs. We have had some infighting. I have to get rid of the males as soon as they're grown. Uh, and I have a female or so pregnant. Absolutely gorgeous creatures. Deadly dangerous. So cool. I fell in love with this game. Like, yeah, I don't want to play with that. Granted, we have some glitching. Don't mind a little bit of glitching in the rock, but so yeah, Then we went to them. The only problem we've had with them so far, like I said, was some inviting. They have been my base animal through everything. And then from there, I thought, okay, so the wolves are timber wolves, so we had to air condition the joint. And the air condition was costing us money. And at the time, we did not have the wind powered generators or the solar generators. So I needed an animal that didn't need temperature control. And what better animal for a desert that don't need temperature control than a camel? And it was on the list, so that's where we went next. Uh, yeah, these little guys. The babies are adorable. Absolutely adorable. Because they have so many babies and they stay babies for such a long time, they attract quite a number of people. Apparently, babies, zoos, it's a thing. Um, Never understood why zoos advertise that they have babies. Now I know. So yeah, that was where we started. Once we got built up from there, um, we got our first star. Cause three habitats, one, two, three. Um, had the timber wolves, and the only thing I had to do to get that bronze star was I had to get one more creature. And well, I got a hippo. Why? Because I happen to like hippos, and there was a little spot with water, and I already had this pulled around with some zookeeper huts and maintenance worker huts and stuff over here to take care of the other two exhibits. I thought, might as well just build off of what's already over here. So we got these little guys. Uh, I would much rather prefer I had all my terrain tools because you can build in this the viewing areas where you go under the water and you see them actually as they swim. Absolutely gorgeous thing. Um, Sorry, all the poo. My keepers are a bit busy right now. But yeah, this was our next find, our next love. And as soon as I placed that down, that gave the brass. Look at the baby. That gave the bronze stars. Okay. Whoop, we have an animal that died. That's okay. He's been here for a minute. All that takeaway. Alright. So next on our list for the silver was breed two new Timberwolves. Easy enough. I got sold the adult males, got a new male, and had him breed the adult females from the previous packs. That's the way I've been trying to keep genetic diversity by every once in a while just taking all the males out, throwing a new male in with the females of major exhibits. Um, Adopt and place 5 different exhibits. Okay, so we already had the 4. The hippo, the saltwater, the camel, and the wolves. So I just had to get one more. And I had obviously had to deck out in plants for the plant part. Now, this is the first time I have worked with something called Neil barriers. Apparently, in this game, okay, you have 2 different types of barriers. And I've been afraid to use them. You have your regular barrier, which, is like this. Your regular, and it comes in concrete, wood, uh, chain link fence, barbed wire, You know, you name it. You can even have a fully glass barrier. And if you want to, you can change your barriers to the other type, to glass or chain link, wood, whatever is your fancy. Now, the different barriers break down at different times. But there's one type of barrier that doesn't ever corrode, doesn't break down, and doesn't give your mechanic headaches. It's called a null barrier. It's this right here. See, there's nothing there. It's literally nothing there. Now, what that does is it creates a boundary. Now, you have to fill in that boundary with other pieces from your little construction playset. Um, so, like, they give you uh, walls and pieces and posts and half walls and little fence pieces and all kinds of stuff that you can use to build your own fence, and then you put the null barrier. I've been afraid because in one of the earlier scenarios that we used the null barrier, I kept having a a snow leopard escape. And I've been afraid to use them ever since. But I decided to give it a try, and I built this monstrosity. This big building. And what did I build this big building for, you might ask? It is for our orangutan. Let's see. Where is she? Meet our girl right here. Like I say, I built the building. I finagled with the climbing structure so she had something to climb on around the outside of the walls and to play on and stuff across the room. Um, which is a learning curve all in itself. There's all about like the way they can travel. There's maps that show you how an animal travels, and you have to like adjust the width because they can barely be touching, but they have to touch a little. Um, it's very finicky, the system for traversing things if you're making your own and not using a pre-made. Um, a lot of things in this game is finicky. But yeah, I made this and then I put the null barrier. I don't know if we can actually pull it up. But it's literally right inside, barely inside the wall. And then for these open holes where windows should be going, we put a like a one-way glass. It's tinted on this side so the animal can't see all the people and get stressed out, but people can see through. And even if the number of people in the crowds were stressing her out, I took the liberty of making shelves. Ooh, we're spinning a lot. Sorry. I took the liberty of making like little shelves or second stories up here with bedding on it so she could crawl up and get into places that are up away from the noise. So yeah, she made our fifth, and we pretty much got the, as soon as her habitat and she was done, we got the silver star. So since then we have been working on getting our last little bit. And our last bit is 13 habitat species. That's not 13 different habitats, it's 13 different species. Power everything in the zoo with renewable energy, which we have done. We finally got our solar panels operating. And, oh, look at the pink clouds. That's so pretty. We got our solar panels operating. Um, all of our habitats, we've been going slow enough that the species, their welfare has stayed pretty decent. We've already released multiple timber wolves into the wild. Um, And we already have the 30% across 7 different habitats. Um, our next one is we decide the orangutans went so well with that habitat that we as in me, we decided to try it again. So we went with these little guys. Where's my little guys? They're absolutely adorable. Oh, come on. Where are we at? Oh, here we are. We're night-nighting. Red pandas. Now, the only problem with these guys is apparently they're really finicky when it comes to people. They don't like people at all. And I did not know that if you build a, 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 a civilian path and it goes into or through a wall or something like that, the civilians will go through said wall. And if you notice, we're clipping on the edge right here. We had people getting close to the edge and like leaning through and popping out their faces through the wall, which was stressing the little panda guys out. So what I did to solve said problem is I moved the null barrier as far as I could to the edge of the first wall, and then I put a secondary wall through. We also again utilized the glass windows. That's one way, but instead of just covering just this part, um, see if I can click this piece. We chose a larger piece to set into the wall, and I chose one that literally went floor to ceiling, and it's overlapping all the way across on that area where guests are glitching through. So that being said, we have not had near the problem that we were having with the pandas with their stress levels. Um, yeah, see, still stressing out, still getting stressed. Oh, my keepers get busy. They forget to check on the little habitat sometimes, and I have to remind them. All right. So that being said, we had there there that kind of dead ends around, and it would take everyone wrapping around and would take them way too far away from restrooms and stuff. And I didn't want to have to make another people like court, food court type kind of thing around on the backside. I just didn't want to have to do it because the further that the guests get away from drink stands and bathroom places, the more they start complaining about needing said things. And this is they call it the heat map. You can see animal welfare, temperature, where the water's clean versus dirty and where your cleaners is, what areas are getting electricity. You can see all the things. Um, and like this one is guest needs. And the further you get away from stuff, the more they end up red like this. And you can click on them and see, like, thirsty, toilet. And they're just right around the corner and they're already complaining. So I was trying to keep everything as close as possible to that front area so I wouldn't have to build another area. So that meant wrapping around this way was not going to be an option at all. So I started spreading out this way. Changed one of my openings I had for the camel from over here to here. Uh, they're both gold. Okay. And the zookeeper's taking care of it. I'm tried out a different type of platform versus the T, like doing a bit of a rounding here, and use the water again. We started with just one male and one female of these uh, Nile monitors? These lizards. These overgrown lizards. They are not pretty at all, but they're kind of cool. They breed fast, which gives me animals that I can release in the wild, which, when you release an animal into the wild, gets you conservator points, conservation points, which you use conservation points to purchase um, like specialty animals, like animals that are really rare, like pandas and stuff like that. So yeah, releasing animals into the wild, back into the wild, good thing. So we grabbed them, like I said, breed a lot, used the water. People seem to like them, probably because they have a crap ton of babies. I don't know. It worked. Um, so since we have to get so many species, not so many habitats, but so many different species, my next step was a multi habitat. We kind of went African safari here. Again, I didn't have to change the temperature. I did just have to change the terrain, the area from rock and sand to grass, which thankfully they don't make me water said grass. But in here we have the black wildebeest. He's taking a nap. We have, you see there, a springbok, or zebra, or zebra, depending on where you're from. Again, so many babies. I think the babies are the reason why my zoo does so well. It's because I'm always having a baby something or another somewhere. Um, yeah, yeah. This is where we're at right now, and we're at 10 different species, and we have to get to 13, and 13 is what's going to win it for us. Um, so I figured, let's see where we can get with this. We're going to have to keep going this direction, I do believe. It still puts us the closest to bathrooms and stuff like that. Um, there's a little bit of space here. I was kind of preserving this space in case we need to put in another keeper's hut or something. But we do have, we can bring the path around. And we have space on this side. Then we can put a land something or another. And we'll have space on this side that we can dip into the water if we need to. So, that being said, let me move these. I've been trying to keep, where it's all possible, the foliage. I was originally deleting it all, but then I noticed guests started to complain that I didn't have very well decorated areas. They can like it or lump it. Um, so yeah, we started just keeping and moving some of the foliage and stuff that's out here to the side instead of deleting it all. To make a path, we come in here, we choose a guest path. We could choose to align it to the grid, which would make it snap to this grid, but that's not going to do us much good because we got to come with an angle here. So let's widen this out. 8 meters. That was what we were doing. Yes, it's pretty. I think it's a different company than Zoo Tycoon, but it's pretty much Yeah, it's pretty much a zoo tycoon. Now it's saying that we're obstructed here. I'm not seeing anything to obstruct. Um, what are we obstructed by? Let's slide the fence in just a little. Because it could be our, it could be the habitat fence for this other habitat. And it was. Okay. There we go. And down. And we'll come... Ooh, how do we want to do this? You know what? I don't think we want to straighten out yet. I think we want to continue on that 45. Alright, that should be enough room to throw another something or two up here, right? One would think. Alright, so what do we have to choose from? Okay, we have the African buffalo, which requires water, so that would have to be on the left side over here. Bard's tapir also requires water. We already have the wildebeest. We have the... I can't even say what this is. It definitely requires water though. I've been avoiding putting down the snow leopard or the brown bears because they both are going to require cold, which is going to require some electricity. I mean, I guess we could go with one of those. Let's see, appeal-wise, it looks like the snow leopard is going to win. So we'll get snow leopards, and we'll try them out. Now, they don't require water at all. So we'll pop those in. Oh, you're fine, Lotus. Okay, so our electricity ends there. Now to run the screens and the educational stuff, and if we put any lights in, we're going to need electricity. But the question is where to put said electricity. We have two sources that we can use for this zoo. We can use solar panels, which as you can see, the blue circle, anything in that blue circle would be lit up. Or we have wind turbines, which does a little bit larger. A little bit larger of a circle. But the difference is a wind turbine, here's the other thing. The area in red around it means it takes away from the scenery and the beauty and the people don't like it. So if I put in a wind turbine, even though it gives a little bit more room out, I can't put anything near or next to it. So like I could put it up here away from where any people is going to be, and it would go out a ways. It still wouldn't cover all the area that we need. Or I could just choose a spot that's near the path and drop one of these bad boys down when we get to an area that are like, oh, we want lighting over here. I think that's probably going to be what we do. We might just start dropping these here and there as we go since we're so close to the end. It's like I said, they have no... Yeah, the guests don't even care if they are put down or not. They're just like, oh, okay, solar panel, cool. Alright. We're definitely going to need one, however. Animal trading. These are the animals we picked up. Oh, wait, wrong button. Now let's look at what they need. This is our book, our Encyclopedia of Animals. It gives a little bit of information about each animal. Shows exactly where they come from, what the region looks like, how much space the animal needs. So this one needs 705 meters. No climbing requirement, no water requirement, but it does need a temperature that is cold AF. Yeah, so between negative 40 and 22°C. So kind of like me, it needs to be cold. We can only keep one grown male and one grown female at a time. Anything more than that, even doesn't matter the size of the habitat. If the habitat took the whole zoo, if you have 2 females in it, they're going to fight. If you have 2 males in it, they're going to fight. They do live for 20 years. And this says that they cannot be placed with any other animals. So even if we had another animal from that region, we cannot put that in there. Oh, and we have to have a 9-foot tall fence, or else they will jump smooth out of that sucker, and then we have absolute riot and panic. Okay, so all that being observed and said and done did, let's actually get back to daytime, because I like daytime. See, it gets down cold at night. During the day, though, it gets so hot. See, at nighttime, they wouldn't have an issue. It's only during the day. I had the same problem with the Timberwolves. Come on. Whew. Actually, you know what? Here. Nothing about those yet. Mechanics, research, things we can have around the zoo. Different themes, shops. They're how we learned how to power and stuff like that. Honestly, I'm probably not going to use any of these themes and things. But it's always nice to keep them busy just in case they run across something you may need or want. So we'll do transport rides. Alright, we got sun. Slow our roll down here a bit. And we can pause everything and everyone. Okay, so what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm probably going to end up putting because they don't do much area. I'm probably going to put a solar panel over here. Turn it. You know what? Here. Oh, I don't like that fence. Why don't I like the fence? Play nice. We'll drop this one here. Okay. That now means we have electricity. Bada boom. In case we need anything here, and we'll have electricity at the oh, hydrate, yes. I forget, thank you. I'm surrounded by drinks and I still forget to drink. Alright, so we're gonna put a small keeper hut over this direction. Oh, these are all new. I must have just got these with the last research that I did. Either way, bop. Yeah, I don't think we need one this large. We could has it though. We could prop it in right here and no problem. You know what? It's probably better to has and not need. Ooh. Oof. Okay, and then quarantine staff room. There. Alright. Now, to access staff areas, staff need staff paths, which are these type. We're going to have to do a little terrain work here, though. Not sure why that decided it needed to shrink-a-dink down, but it did, and here we are. Smooth that out a little bit. Path. Up, still. Drain. Up, nope. Path. Alright, let's take this back down to 4 meter wide. Why is it not connecting? You know what? It gets finicky sometimes. There's that. Okay. Oh, that's how you want to connect? Okay, if that's how you want to play it, we're not going to argue as long as they will walk down the path. I don't like my guest paths messy, but my staff path can be as messy as it wants to be. As long as it is working and functional, I don't care. Okay, guests, if they can see these buildings, will basically complain that they're eyesores. So, complain me more than they do if they can't see the building, they're just standing next to it. So, in that case, we put these on. Basically just to cover the facade, make it look a little prettier. Because heaven forbid you actually see studs or something that's not pretty. Clip in, clip in. Probably just as easy to copy there. And there. Okay, so this is a keeper's hut. It is where the keepers get food for the animals, so that way they have a close space on this end of the joint to gather supplies. This is the break room for the staff, so they have a place to go and rest, because if not, they don't like it. They're just as picky as the people. Now to get them to use it, we have to enable it into a work zone. I haven't spread this place out. I've kept it as compact as possible, so I only have one work zone. So we just click to add to the work zone, and they will begin to use those. Sorry, getting another drink of coffee. Alright. Now, we need a 9-foot tall habitat. Honestly, I don't think we're going to use any of this land that's down here. Break out our terrain paint, change it to sand so it actually makes sense. Widen out our circle a bit. And let's just create a better... because ain't nobody gonna see this but us. Try the pull tool. There we go. Kind of even that out a bit. No, I did not see what you made last night when you couldn't sleep. I was a bad kid today and didn't wake up until like right before it was time to stream. Okay, put in the darker textures. Swift across that with the soil to lighten it up a bit. Alright. Because technically we can build, like, there's supposed to be a Dunka line somewhere. I think it's somewhere even with this. We can build out to here. However, Yeah, I don't see myself doing that. We should be able to get more than enough room in this zone here for our two um little snow leopards. I don't want to cool that much of an area either. Buckeyes. Oh. Oh, I don't imagine so. You're not supposed to be having sugar, are you, Lotus? Okay, we're going to need to figure out where our people are going to view this from. Okay, align to grid. We're going to select this as being our grid. Alright. Deselect grid. Go back to a 4-meter width. Alright. Up, up, up. Alright, do this again. Up, up, up. Alright. There we go. I kind of liked that rounded feel we did with the uh sweet tooth, so I only ate a few. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. You're in troubles. Heat index is 100 degrees today. Our sardine can of trailer feels like 110. I am not. Yeah, no, we are not there yet. I do not want it. You can keep it. Alright, we need to do a thing here. So, like, I need this to raise up. There we go. Okay, we're gonna pull this out some to make sure they have plenty of space. Or not space, jumping room. We don't want these little buggers to jump. And they will. They will. Trust me, they do. It's not nice. Alright, trying to make this as flat as possible. Sink it down a little bit, sink it down a little bit. Woo. Shrink our circle down a little bit here. Alright. Smooth that. Smooth that. Voila. Okay. The only thing that concerns me is this spot right here. It's probably overkill taking the wall up that high. But with this little bit of dirt build up, see, everything else is over 3 meters. I ain't playing. They said these things can jump. I have seen them really, like, sail over the top of fences in some of my past game saves. Alright, did we go in front of or behind? Went behind. Maybe should have to go this side. There we go. Alright, and we can adjust from here. Alright. Now, slide this a little closer, because we want our people to be able to see. We want our guests to have access. To all the visuals. There we go. Kind of clean that up a little bit there. Alright, now the guests should be able to see a fair amount of the goings-ons here. Now we're going to need a habitat for them. Filter. Actually, we're gonna need a habitat. We need a door. Like, we cannot expect our zookeepers to take care of the animals if they can't get to the animals. Okay, so let's put in a door. And while we're thinking about it, Let's add it to the work zone so that way the zookeepers will actually get over here and do the thing. Okay, so this is new habitat in the work zone. Um, we're taking care of guest facilities. So I want everything to be functional for them when they get here. Oh, wrong one. This one. This is we'll have the board that will have the information. It's a lit up board, so it's going to require electricity. This is the speaker that will tell the guest all about the different animals. Do we even have electricity? Does not even make it this far. Oof. Oof. Alright. At this point, if we put it on this end, it won't reach there either. But we have this nice little open space. See if we can get it to pop anywhere. There. That should take care of electricity for the area. Heck, we might even end up putting in drink machines or a bathroom or something on the side right here. Yeah, we're supposed to have storms rolling in right about now, actually. I left my puppers out for 2 hours before I started the stream just so they could uh, run around and play and get anything and everything like out of their system beforehand. Okay, so we have the work zone, we have that. Trash cans because guests are nasty. If they don't have a place to throw away their trash, they will literally just like toss it on the ground wherever. Like, no chill whatsoever. Let's get a security camera on this end. Because they will walk up to they don't care if it's on the gas path. They will walk up to your equipment and your machines and they will break the ever loving daylights out of things if you have vandals and stuff in your area with not enough security guards. The security cameras make it so that way I don't have to hire as many security guards. They still break things from time to time, but it's not as often. Oh, the donation bin. Okay, so every animal gets a donation box near its viewing area, and guests, when they are viewing said animal, will, if they really like the exhibit and they really like that animal, will toss coins straight into there, giving extra money, as if their ticket money wasn't enough. And I am not saying no to the extra money. I'm so harebrained. Okay, we're going to go ahead and mark these to go to the quarantine so they can be checked out by our vet beforehand. Anyway, habitat. Filters, species. We can at least get the things that we know they need. These are snow leopards, so we just go down the list. And now you guys see why it takes me so long to play this game. This is one over an hour of me talking and trying to build one thing. Um, all right. So beds and shelters. We need a shelter. Oh, that might be interesting. It's called an Australian shelter. Um, it's better than the wooden ones. I hope it's not climbable. We'll find out though, won't we? Um, you know what? I kind of sort of want to put it in backwards. Does that make sense? Give the animals some privacy? Let's put it away from the walls a little bit. That way, if an animal wants to get away from all the looky-loos and the peoples and whatnot, they have options to do so. Yeah, this is going to need a lot of coolers. Because this is a snow animal, but at the same time, if I remember correctly, if they have babies, the babies get stressed if there's too many people and they don't have a place to hide or get away. So we're going to give them this little hidey hole. Uh, Click the habitat. Mm, I do not see... A lot of the times, if it's a climbable habitat, it'll have a button where you could just like click on to turn climbing off. I do not see climbable on this, so we're going to assume at this point that this is not a climbable shelter. These are not large animals. So let's put putting some bedding down, a couple of medium beds, couple of small beds. Either way, beds. All right. They only become aggressive when they become adults. So you can have a cub. The second it becomes adults, it'll pop up a warning message that there's an issue in that habitat because you have two adult males or two adult females. And you can come back and choose out of the two males or out of the two females which one, I hate to say which one you like better, but which one has the less appeal to the guest. And you can take that animal and either sell it if it was a purchased animal, or you can re-release it into the wild. Okay, so we know snow leopards are a pain in the bumpkiss when it comes to cold. They like cold. They're snow leopards. I wish that I could... Here, we'll pop this one on this side. This one here. One here. And one here. Yeah, it's better to keep the young ones and release the older ones if you have a chance, because the younger one is going to live longer, and a lot of times they'll have more appeal. Not always, but a lot of times. And we're gonna the range, keep it at max range. Temperature, they like between 20 and 0. It cost us nothing to run this, as you see. So we're going to leave them at 0. We're going to leave them all at cold. Hopefully it gets time for them to cool while the animals are quarantining. Feeding station. We have 2, so we're going to use the larger food tray. I don't want to waste the time of my keepers, so I always try to put the food tray somewhere near where the keepers come in and out at. There's several different watering systems. All of these 4, have to be refilled by your zookeeper. This, however, does not. It's like a dripping pipe of water. So we want to make sure that they have a reason to use the whole habitat. So we're just going to place it right over here. Give them an excuse to get over there. Okay. Now, that being said, we can't put our greenery and stuff in until we actually get them here. But there are some enrichment items we can go ahead and place in. Like this ice block. We don't need climbing things. It's not a requirement for them, unlike other large cats. Frozen blood pumpkin. That's pretty good. It's a pumpkin filled with blood that has been frozen. I know, kind of gruesome and like Halloween horrors, but they like it. And pop that in. And I don't think they actually like these trees, but it's calling for these trees. These are scratching trees. For like, you know, scratch your nails on and whatnot. It'll tell us if they do not care for them once we have them in here. I just want to make sure that we have as many enrichment items as possible. Like I could easily pop one of these in like somewhere out here away from everything and add them a climbing structure, but according to the thing it says climbing is not a necessity. Alright, we have each of these toys in, and we have one, yeah, pretty much big cat scratch big cat scratch poles, yes. We have one blood pumpkin. I think that's all we can do. Now we're going to unpause. As soon as we put our people in, as soon as we put them in, it's going to start pulling guests this way to come and see them. But we just have them plopped into quarantine. You know what? As much animals as we have and as much issues as the zookeepers are having doing cleanliness at this point, I'm wondering if we shouldn't hire another zookeeper. So we only have 3. And this one is saying he has a high workload. And they're actually almost all fully trained. So if they're still having issues of high workload with this much training, then it possibly could be time for extra vendor or 2 and an extra zookeeper. See, our vendors are also fully trained and having issues. So I tell you what, we have the funds. We were broke and running on loans at the beginning of this. We are not anymore. Let's hire 3 extra vendors and at least 1 extra zookeeper. Okay, we can't train new staff until they've been here over a month, and then it starts letting you train the staff. Okay, quarantine is passed already. So we come to our quarantine hut. The vet tech says that they are great. We are going to go ahead and move them into our new habitat. We can name the habitat. I don't know how to spell. Ha! I was spelling it right. Snowleopard. Alright, somewhere. Oh, there he comes. There he comes. Look for the little guy with the box. He's coming through. He said move out the way. This is our guy delivering our snow leopard from the quarantine into the habitat. Woohoo! Here comes number 2. Bada boom. And we have 2 snow leopards that are already like, what the hey. Alright. Let's pause again because we don't want to keep them. If they stay in a habitat that is not to their liking for too long, we will get protesters to our zoo. We do not want protesters to our zoo. So we will try to fix this. Now, if we look here, we have no climbing, no water. That is perfectly acceptable. We have 3 times the amount of navigatable land area, which means we will probably get taxes, because they do tax you if you have more room than what you need. That's fine. I am okay with paying taxes on this one. All the rest of my habitats are exactly what they need. If I have one that's a little over, so be it. Okay? Apparently we want a lot of rock and a little bit of grass. We can do this. So we just paint the ground, just like Sims. You know, when you play The Sims and you have to paint the terrain in the yard. That's pretty much what we're doing. We're painting the terrain. Rock is their favorite terrain, so we're just going to fill it in, fill it up, and then we can go back and see what we can put where. Now they'll take a little bit of short grass. So where do we want grass? Maybe right here around the water area? A little bit of grass here. A little bit of grass over here. Alright, now the snow will come in with these little vent things. Like, if it's cold enough, there will be snow. So let's pop some some snow out here. There we go. Look at how beautiful that is. We have snow in the desert. It's a glorious day. It's a glorious day for the snow leopard. Alright, environment. They have no complaints about the two trees because the two trees are part of the habitat. They're kitty scratch things. Enrichment. Possibly enrichment is perfect. Yeah, snow leopards love snow. It's in the name. Alright, so to get what plants we need, we just click Asia and our plant thing comes up and you see it already marks Asia. Then we can click Sitanga? I think that's how it's pronounced. You click the biome name, desert, oceanic, you know, temperate, whatever. You click that, it puts the two together, filters it out. It wants a plant diversity for this thing. I don't like putting all my plants in one place. I just go through and grab small plants because people like to see the things unless I'm needing specifically to make hidey holes for them. And just put a few of each of the small variety of said plant. And just kind of randomly put it. Mother Nature's not like... She has no say-so in any of this. She don't care. She just throws things down where they get thrown down. We got piles of leaves here. Oh, well that wasn't cool. There. No! It keeps flipping sideways. Don't do me like that. There we go. Pile of leaves. Stump. That puts a Himalaya pine in there. This stump will make it so it recognizes a Scots pine. Put this little rock over by the water thing. Okay, so there's the caribou moss. Toss a cowberry bush here. Cowberry bush 01. Crowberry bush. Okay, so got the cowberry on that side, put the crowberry over here on this side. Cool. Okay, fine. So we're just trying to put just enough to satisfy the goal. Elsewise, I would just pick a few that would look natural and just throw a couple here and there in. Because we're talking snow leopards. We're talking like mountainous regions where not a lot of things grow to begin with, and when there is, it's like this. Or like the trees that are all losing leaves and stuff. Like, I have no clue why some of these are even in the list, but we're not going to complain. And like I said, this is a flora and fauna challenge, so we have to have some of everything in there to pass the challenges. Put this back here. We don't have a lot along the back yet. Okay, I heard thunder. It can go away. We don't need no more dadgum rain. I don't want to put ivy. Maybe if we put it on the, yeah, there we go. Corner ivy 2, corner ivy, ivy horizontal. Maybe we got some ivy growing back here apparently. Just on this one part of the wall. Zookeepers haven't made it around to fussing with it yet. That's going to be our story for why we have ivy back here. We don't need Virgil from DNC to thunder on this. Yeah. No. I live in a flood zone, Ian. I know we don't know each other that well, friend. We are new acquaintances. I live in a flood zone in East Texas that's, not quite far from the swamps, very close to a riverbed. And last year alone, we had over 3 floods in our vicinity. We're trying not to beat that record this year. We do not want summer rain to bring said flood, and we have had rain on and off again for 2 weeks. So, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. We don't want rain. It could go away. Um, it's a baby. Oh, and it sounds atrocious too. I don't like it. Get that. Some parts here in Belgium are also flood regions, and when it happens, it's horrible. Yeah, yeah. We don't do floods here nicely. Unfortunately, my home is a high enough area that while it may flood, we flood around me. It does not normally flood actually in my I would say in my house normally. Like it would take there's a dam on a river that is upstream for me. It would take that dam completely breaking for myself and my family or for our homes to flood at this point. We have lived in this region for so long that we knew where to locate ourselves. Um, that being said, stuck in your home while floodwaters rise around you is no fun either. Not being able to get out to supplies, not being able to get out to medical help, just pretty much stuck where you're at. You can't go to work. It's not fun either. Okay, I think let's check with the snow leopards. Let's find one. Here we go. Let's see how they feel about their habitat. Environment coverage. We are at 9%. Oh, okay. But we already from our goal line have coverage taken care of. But we're in the coverage. Apparently they like all the foliage, so we're good there. We said we already checked the enrichment. Enrichment is great. What else can we do? We need to change this. So we're announcing the snow leopards are here. Get our information board up. Change the range of the speaker because we want everyone on the platform to hear all about our snow leopards. The more educated they are, the more education they get, the more likely they are to donate. And believe it or not, a lot of your money for your whole zoo comes from donations. Case in point, 3,000 in this barrel alone. That's just that barrel. 15 in this one. Almost 2,000 in that one. Like, almost 2,000 there. That one not so much. They cleared out and moved around to this side. They were over here and putting more money in this one. They bounce around. We have smaller barrels out for the exhibits. I just placed them randomly around. So 2,000 in this one. Your bigger exhibits normally get bigger money. 2K here, 1,000 there. Only $87 so far there this month. But that's because everyone has moved to this end to check out mom and baby and all the family that's been hanging out over here. Because we have a new baby. Oh my gosh. But yeah, they've been hanging over here, so all the money's on this end. Wait. Eepy night night, little baby. Eepy night night. I'm so cute. So yeah, we got everything set up. Everything should be ready. Good to go. Vet research is done for the first round of the Nile monitor. What we should place, because we have enough vets now. We have 2 vets. What if we placed another vet research center? We only have one, so that's why we only have 1 vet researching things. Let's place another vet research center over here. Let's see. Yeah, it's covered for electricity. That means we'll be able, because you could, no matter how many vets you have, you could only research for the number of research facilities you have. So since I only have 1 research facility, I can only technically have 1 vet researching. But if we put this down, quickly throw some walls up on there. I could technically put roofs on, but I don't want to cover up what the buildings are via their little logo on top. So, yeah, there's that. Alright, so that's 2 research centers. So that means we can take our other vet. And what do we want to... Oh, we want to research those new snow leopards. We know nothing about them yet. Maybe learn something about our zebras. See, I don't rename my animals because I'm afraid I'd get attached to them. I used to do that when I played Zoo Tycoon all the time. Like, all my animals would have different names. I kept a baby naming book next to the computer that I was playing on. Like, I was into it. Yeah, I just don't anymore. And it's not for lack of, you know. I mean, like, I could think of names, you know, for every one of them. Like, probably just run through them right now. I just don't want to get attached to them since I'm getting rid of them and I trade them out so often. All right. Now we have them in. Everyone's good. It's going to take a little bit of time um, before our guests come down this way. Chicken. Name chickens nugget, fried and baked. That's not a bad idea for naming chickens. The last time I had chickens, though, I cannot pronounce them. They're from they're not a popular breed, but they're from like a little island in like Asia or something. They're the smallest chickens in the world. My aunt got me into them, and I went through several generations, but I ended up giving them all um, Spanish names. So I had like Lolita and Pedro and Jose and Mary, Gloria. Yeah, I went through all the little like typical um Lena, all the little Spanish names for all my little chickens. They were small. They were like all of like 6, 8 inches tall. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that. I went through all of them. I raised them for like oh Lord, 8 years or something like that. You know, in chicken lifespan, that's a long time, especially when they're hatching and yeah, yeah. They were just like little ornamental chickens. Like they had eggs that were like the size of quail eggs. So they weren't really good for egg producers. There wasn't enough meat on their bones for meat production. They were just because I liked chickens. I see, I'm back to renting and have been for the last 5 years. But I swear, at the point in which I actually get my own house, and which we are working on doing, but the point in which I get my own house, I am getting me some chickens again. Guests keep complaining that the tickets are underpriced. Last time they did that, I just raised the adults from 20 to 25. Um, you know what? I'm tired of them complaining about it. We're going with 15 for kids and 30 for an adult. Oh, and the people are finally starting to come down here. We're getting some traction. Mm, animal welfare. What's wrong with the animal? What's wrong with the animal? Temperature. See, I told you. Look at him. Look at him climbing shit. This is why we have to watch where we place our trees. You see this? You see this? Kitty. Kitty. Okay. So, heat map, temperature. Oh, they are not close enough together. Okay, that means they're gonna get fussy for a minute, but we gotta move these. Uh, you know what? Instead of moving that, let's copy this. We'll put one here and see how that does. Actually, here. Maybe that should help. Hopefully, possibly. Mm. We'll even put one over here. I mean, it's not costing us anything to run these since we have solar panels. Oh, did we move it? I thought we copied it. Gosh darn it. Okay. Alright, so hopefully that should take care of that problem. There we go. Temperature, cleanliness, happiness, we are good. Habitat is good. Oh, we had our older wildebeest die. Call vet. We still have a couple, so we're not worried about it. Why are you attracting protesters? Or is that still, or is that's probably, okay, that's probably old. Yeah, there's no protesters here right now. So, delete that. We need some lights over here. Like, it's dark. We don't want anyone, like, falling down or... There we go. A couple lights up there. Light there. There. Pop one there. You know, this is in Nevada, therefore it is here in America, and we are a very litigious country. We need to make sure nobody can sue us for falling down the stairs here because of no lighting. Now see, we had that conversation about people vandalizing things where there are no security guards and no cameras. I put in these two, and I didn't put any cameras in, and now we have a trash can that we're going to have to pay for. Because apparently they decided to beat up a trash can. What? Ah! I cannot even click it. There we go. Replace. Facilities. Security. Camera. Tell you what, we'll put one here. And we'll put one over here. Can I get to the ground here? I might have messed myself up. I was going to put it off the path and on the dirt, but it looks like we have not left us pathway for that. Alright. That's a couple of lights. Do you like put memorial stuff for deceased animals? No, because I don't name the animals. And at this point since we're doing the scenarios and we're just trying to get through the goals, I like I said, the goals are things like sell so many animals, trade off this many animals, have this many animals bred. I've been really trying not to get attached to the animals. Now, when it gets to be like free time, well, that's just disgusting. when I get to have free time with the animals, or with my own zoo, and to start doing the what do you call it, the franchise or sandbox mode, probably. Like maybe not the minor animals, um, that people really don't care about, like freaking springbok, um, because there's basically just like gazelle kind of thing. But like on our larger, more attractive animals, like the orangutan, like if she was to pass away and this was my permanent zoo, I would totally have a wall of like animals that have been famous, passed away, posted on the outside of the walls of the exteriors. Like I would totally do that. But since this is a temporary thing and we're not going to be here permanently, yeah, I just haven't bothered. My goal is I'm going to do all of these um, scenarios. And then after I do the scenarios, I want to go into franchise. I'm trying to use the scenarios to learn how to do all the different stuff and get comfortable with the building aspects and doing all the different stuffs in the game before I break out uh with everything else. Catamatic, hello. Welcome to the channel and thank you for the follow. Um but yeah, at this time we're just like we're just chilling. We're just trying to get from one scenario to the next. And I don't save them once I end a scenario. See, we have at least 13 habitat species in a zoo. Technically, I could end this right now, this whole scenario, by just building two small enclosures, purchasing two random animals and just throwing them in there, and the second they place them down in the two enclosures, it'll end the zoo and tell me I completed it. But that's the cheater's way. And I've been trying to do these like straight up, like get them done fully. Uh, so I want to do at least one more habitat, which will probably be this one here. I haven't decided. I think it'll probably be the bears. Uh, I'm not sure yet, but I want to do at least one more water habitat, and then I will take and get my last animal, let him toss it in, and say objective complete. And I'll probably do that later tonight. Yeah, right. Planet 2 Zoo Depths. That's not how you're supposed to play the game. There was the reason I found that out, that was a thing, was there was one of the goal lines for one of the earlier scenarios that was like have four animal types uh in one habitat. And so I went through, and it just happened that all four of the ones I needed at that moment were on the animal trading. Now, not everything is always on animal trading. Like, last time we scrolled through, there were no extra orangutans. There is a male orangutan right now. Technically, I could buy it and throw it in with the female. If this was my permanent zoo, I probably would. But there hasn't been an orangutan once since I bought her on this list. Um, but that particular instance, there was four different animals that all belonged uh, in the African safari type environment. Uh, we had elephant, a giraffe, some zebras, and the springboks, I believe. Uh, they also had warthogs, and it might have been the wildebeest. I'm not sure. Anyway, there was like a ton of African safari grazing type animals. I bought one of each of all of them. And I brought them out and I threw them all out at the same time. I threw them in the quarantine. They all came ready at the same time. I clicked them all. I'm like, that's fine. I will figure out how to manage their plants and grass needs because they might be a little bit different. I'll just send them to the habitat. Done. I sent them to the habitat. The habitat had nothing in it. It didn't have a shelter. It didn't have a food thing or a water thing. Nothing. It was literally just bricks with the gate. That's it. And the second the fourth one of the animals was placed in there, because the goal was four animals of different types in the habitat, the scenario completed, the game freaking ended. And it went on to the next one. I was like, wait a minute, you can do that? Like, I don't have to do nothing. I don't even have to get their happiness to like 80% or have them a decent habitat. I can just throw them in a habitat where there's nothing in it. Yeah, so that's a thing. Technically, when we started today, I could have explained the game, showed you what I had, put this down, and just grabbed three random animals and shoved them into the habitat. It, it's a deal. Oh, I am getting a phone call. Please be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Oh, later, Lotus. Uh, Sorry about that. Yeah, my other half calling me. I'm driving into the storm. It's coming. No, honey, you're driving into the storm. It's already here. So yeah, that's a thing. Um, with the animals and um, like I don't even at this point see. I'm moving things to make another habitat later. I really don't even have to do this. I can not worry about the grass or the landscape or nothing. I can just throw something down in here. It don't even have to be happy because our goal is literally just 13 habitat species in the zoo. Already have uh the overall welfare over 85, well over 85%. My animal habitat species is out like so high it wouldn't even freaking matter. As long as they were in there for just a few seconds, like long enough for the box to open, and then the game would count it as having the habitat welfare is still equally over 85%. I don't have to do any of this. But I want to. I really do feel like it's cheating when I don't do everything that I can to ensure that the game is done properly. Um, so that's the thing, and so that's what I'll be doing tonight. That's going to be my evening. Um, as we wrap up here, is I'm gonna take this out. I can do a good sized land site swimming area. Um, they keep offering these brown bears on and off. So I'll probably get one of those. If we go to our Zoopedia, I will have to air condition it. Not a problem. We got the solar panels. Actually, this one don't need swimming. Oh, we had a bear earlier that did. I don't remember which bear it was now. Might have been the grizzly. Okay, so I'll probably get it either way. I'll probably get one of these. Do a habitat for it. Um, and I just have to get one other. I have to pick one other from the list. That could be something as simple as the tape gear. Although I might get one of these. I don't know what they're. I cannot pronounce it. They kind of remind me like a freaking gator or croc or something like that. I'm going to assume they're in the same family. They're from Asia. Big nose crocs. Yeah, yeah. I that's probably. Let me guess. That's probably like the common name for them or something. I can't do the Latin, nor can I do whatever the heck this is. And I don't want to butcher a language that is not my own. I do that enough in everyday life when I speak redneck instead of English. Um, Southern country girl here. uh, However, their habitat is a lot of swimming, little land. So I could do them. I do have more land options available than I do swimming areas. I don't know. I'll grab something. We'll figure something out later. Um, we already have hippos. We already have the Nile monitors. We already have pandas. Really and truly, I think those are our only choices. Is going to be between the croc-looking things, flamingo, or bear. That's what I was thinking. Might do flamingos. They don't need the swimming area, but they do need water. Like, it don't have to be deep, but it does have to be a decent amount. So we may do them. Ah, we'll see. We will see. As it is, ads are going to be starting in like 3 minutes. I do not want to make you suffer through them. Uh, we've been going for like 2 hours. My other half is on the way home. There is a huge storm rumbling and rolling, so I could lose power again at any second now. Um, so I think it's probably best if I bounce off of here. Go ahead and get some dinner going, get it on while we still have the electricity to cook, because I don't want to have to try to drag my grill in the rain up onto the porch and then cook on the back porch with a grill, because it is not a propane grill, it is a charcoal grill, and it can be very dangerous to cook with wood or charcoal on a wooden porch, and we don't like to play dangerous. That's why it's out in the yard. But that's what we do when power's out and flooding happens. So, yeah, it is what it is. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining me, Ian. Thank you, everyone else who joined me today on my game. I will see you tomorrow.